Thank you guys so much for making it. So glad to see you. Everybody has masks on today, so you're doing great. Okay, I'm not a fan myself, but I understand. We're here, so we're going to do it right. Right, Jody? Today I'm going to actually talk about a fun little topic that in kids' church it's really easy because kids are really good at this. Adults, for the most part, are terrible at this. So for the adults, you're going to get a little bit different out of this today. And usually this is a good half-hour lesson, and I've got 5 minutes. So I'm going to split it into 2 weeks probably, and it's still going to be choppy, so bear with me. But today we're going to talk a little bit about living for today, right? The gift of today. Kids are great at it. Grown-ups, we're pretty bad at it, right? The Bible here says, I'm just going to start on that verse, very first thing. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough troubles of its own. Matthew 6:34. I'm the person in our family, in most families, in practically every family, there's the person or persons who likes to ask the what-if questions. Right? And they're usually about the future, well, what if this doesn't work out? What if this job doesn't happen? What if he doesn't like me? What if it turns out to be cancer? What if it can be horrible? It can also be the past though, right? What if I had been a better parent? Maybe my kid wouldn't have had that, right? What if I had made a better financial decision? I wouldn't be stuck in Utah the rest of my life. Right, Jody? Come on, sorry. I was born and raised. I have no excuses. All right. So we're the what if people. Okay, we tend to be the worriers, right? We call ourselves planners, but really we're worriers, okay? So for a candy, I need someone to tell me, they're singing a song there, right, in Lion King on our slide. Okay, what's that song, Wesley? Okay, what does Hakuna Matata mean? It means no worries. Excellent, buddy. Yes, no worries, okay? So, and that sounds great, but as an adult, is that easy to do? No. Heck no. It's not easy at all. Some of us are worriers. So this hit my mind this week really hard because on Monday, I had to go in for an ultrasound and a biopsy on a lump I'd found on my chest a while back. And so I was a little anxious, but what's odd about it is I'm a healthy guy, relatively young, no cholesterol, no meds, no nothing. I shouldn't have been. It was not a real big deal, but I was way more anxious than I probably should have been, okay? And as most what-if people, it wasn't because of the present. It wasn't because of what was going on now. It was because I was obsessing about the past. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of explanation on that. So I'm from St. George. My whole family's from St. George, okay? Any other poor people born in St. George down here? Yeah, poor souls. Yeah, born in St. George. That was me. But my mom and her siblings, they were in elementary when they were doing the nuclear testing in Nevada. Okay, so my mom would tell us the story of, she was, I think, about 6th grade for her, and her other siblings were a little younger. But they'd be out at recess, and the teacher would say, kids, come inside, the cloud's coming over. So the kids would all come in from recess, sit in the school, if that happened to be a school day, usually it was, and then the cloud would come over, just darken the sky. She said it wasn't very high up because it was heavy. It wasn't really high up. It didn't seem like you could reach up and jump up and get it. And the whole sky would get dark, and the cloud would go over, and then they'd send the kids back outside. And my mom remembers signing her name on the cars in the radioactive ash that's on the cars. Okay? People don't know this. People think, oh, yeah, nuclear testing. They did it, of course, back when the wind would blow away from Vegas. So Mesquite, St. George, Cedar City, right, they got covered in this radioactive ash all the time. And since then, my aunt died of breast cancer in her 40s. My mom had such a rare blood disease that doctor said, well, you can get this by working on a nuclear sub or growing up in St. George. It's the only way you can get this disease, and that's what killed her before she was 60. Uncle, before he was 60, just in February died of 2 different cancers. Grandpa had 3, Dad had 2, Aunt Louise, Beverly had lupus and a couple other things, Uncle Tim, just goes on and on and on. The whole town has died off from these crazy diseases. And so I'm that next generation. I'm the first ones of that group that I don't know what that's going to do to us. So talk about what-if questions. I go to the doctor and I have to fill out that little family history. I have to check every blooming box. Families died from cancer, this stroke, heart attack, you name it. We've had it all. And so we had none of that in the family history before. That's a what-if. That's a pretty big what if. I have no idea what it's going to do to my generation. And so I was stuck in this, and I was getting really, really anxious. And during all this is when God hit me with the concept. It was just literally this week. He hit me with the concept of living for today. Not focusing on tomorrow, what happened before, what happened later, my hopes, my dreams, my mistakes, you name it, right? What is, for the next candy, what is it that Ferris says at the end of the movie? Grown-up will probably have to answer this. What's he says when he lays back at the very end? Come on. Yeah, well, no, what does Bueller say when he goes at the very end of the movie? Come on, I know you guys know this. Oh, no, movie nerds in here? You're kidding me. Your dad would totally be all over this, wouldn't I? Nobody? He says, I said it before, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Now, you remember now? Ferris? Yeah, that's a great line. Okay, so it talks about just not focusing on tomorrow, not focusing on the past, but living for today. Like the Bible says, tomorrow will worry about itself. God has enough for us to do today. Okay, I won't even do this. This was the hardest one. I thought the Ferris would be easy. So Yoda himself, the wisest person that's not in the Bible, right? When he's talking about Luke, and he's talking about, he says, long have I watched this kid, right? He says his mind always on the future, always on what's to come, never on where he was, okay? We've got to learn to focus on where we are. And I don't mean necessarily, the carpe diem, seize the day, take over the world. I just mean, let's do it. Let's do it today, okay? Focus on today. Today is the gift, all right? And I just threw these up for fun. My brain just went to, movies are about this and songs are about this. This is everywhere. Did you know that almost all of us struggle? Who in here is a what if-er besides me? Who's the worrier? She's like, oh, yeah. Okay, we're the worrier. This is why it's everywhere. It's in our songs, in our media. It's in the Bible. We really need to catch this. We all have problems with this. So don't have time. I'll just come back next week as soon as I can, and I'll tell you what God says on how we can do this practically impossible job of stopping to obsess about our mistakes and the people that have wronged us and just stop worrying about the future. How do we do this? So we're going to do this next week, or when I come back. So I'm going to end it with my favorite quote. Does any kid know what Master Oogway says? This is from my bigger one, my Milky Way. For what Master Oogway said about the past and the present and today. Anybody remember? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yesterday was history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, which is why it is called the present. Excellent. So speaking of present, I want you guys to celebrate today. So just for fun, I did one other thing like I like to do every week. I need all the kids to look under their seats, and taped onto the bottom, there's two, only just have to get lucky, there's two seats that underneath the bottom have a little gift card under there, because how can you celebrate without ice cream? So I got gift cards for ice cream. Let's see, did you find it? You did? All right. Yep, little man right there's got one. Who else? Well, the other one was on this side. Yeah. Did you find it? There it is, right there. All right, my kids got it. Okay, well, thank you guys. Celebrate today, and we'll talk about it next week. You guys have a great day. Come on, Pastor Joe.